Hi, I'm Shannon Marshall, principal of Stadium High School, and I have the privilege of opening our 2022 Martin Luther King Jr. Assembly. As we gather to honor this man whose leadership efforts battled for equality and human rights, please remember not only how far we have come, but how far we have yet to go. There are countless challenges we are still facing as a country and as a society. It is the responsibility of all of us to do our part to work toward a brighter future. On this January 17th, please take time to reflect on the life and contributions of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and allow his legacy to inspire you and the work that still needs to be done. I'd like to thank Stadium's BSU for producing this video and for continuing Stadium's tradition of honoring this civil rights hero. Please enjoy this year's virtual assembly.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now.
Here with
Mr. Folsom.
Mr. Folsom, I
Yeah.
have some questions for you.
Okay.
So, how have you created a positive change for your students or in the way that you do things at Stadium that you feel as though weren't done before?
So one of the things that I've been here now almost for 9 years. So one of the things that I think I bring to the table is the listening. And one of the most important skills any person has, doesn't matter what age they are, is just listening to people, seeing what people want, seeing what they need. One of the things I think, specifically, I know because with you guys being part of the BSU, we actually started the BSU with my insistence, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, because we didn't have an active club that brought out the voices of another segment of our society, of our community, our black students. And that was something that, so we got involved, a couple of our coaches who unfortunately aren't here anymore. That's right, Mrs. Maddox has kind of stepped up and it was part of that. So it was just one of the things that we wanted to do to be able to bring about more student voice to our school's community.
Yeah, and have you noticed like a change in Stadium's climate when it comes to justice and equality over the past few years?
It definitely has changed a lot. I am one of the front end people, so I do see the change in people, their actions, all that. So yes, I do see a change in that.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mrs. Jacobson, Liz.
So what does equality mean to you, Mrs. Jacobson?
Equality means that everybody gets to play an equal part, and everyone gets to be involved, and everyone gets to feel part of the community.
Is there any way that you feel as though like you have been involved through either social media or through the curriculum or through trying to keep your environment really inclusive?
Absolutely. I try every day. That's the first thing. Try it. But yes, I've been involved by having shows where there's parts for everyone, having shows where different people can shine, no matter what your grade, your race, your gender, but that you feel included. So that's one part of theater that's really cool. I have gone to the Black Lives Matter march that we had at Stadium that the teachers organized in the district and in the city of Tacoma, which was really exciting. And I have my Black Lives Matter Tacoma locally Black sponsored business shirt that I wear all the time, and also a sign in my house. and we talk about it a lot at home of how to include all lives and how to make sure that everyone feels like they matter. Perfect.
This is Anna Saldana. How were you impacted throughout the resurgence of the BLM movement?
It just kind of opened my eyes to like everything that's going on in society and how like Black Lives Matter is just really important to like people.
What does equality mean to you?
Equality means that everyone gets like treated equally no matter of their race or identity or anything.
Thank you.
Ava, have you ever been a bystander to unfair, unjust treatment? Was accountability held?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was exactly a bystander in specific things, but especially last year during, it was last year during May, when all the George Floyd stuff was going around, it was just kind of a big awakening to me of being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that these things have been happening and going on in our community. So it was just kind of, I had to take a step back to put myself in my place more of, and to start advocating and doing the best I could to speak out for communities who might not have a voice.
So you said that you have been to protests. Do you do that? Do you like enjoy going to protests and like making an impact?
Of course, I always enjoy taking the opportunities and chances I can to advocate and to help communities, because it's so important that we stand together and we're equal, and it's just so important to advocate for those who might not have the voice that they want.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Ava.
I'm here with Miranda, and we're going to be asking her some questions today. How has the resurgence of BLM now in this generation kind of changed your viewpoint on things?
For me, I feel angry. It's like, why is this problem still happening? We're all human beings. We all have like the same blood and flesh in our bodies. Color, ethnicity, I don't know, things you believe in shouldn't be what makes you less than somebody else. It's just not fair.
I agree. With that being said, what does equality mean to you?
I think equality means that everyone should be treated the same, no matter who you are, what you believe in, and the things you do, because we're all the same. We all have our own decisions. Your decisions don't make you less than somebody else, because we're all just people living life the way we want to.
I agree. Thank you, Miranda.
My name is Napri Soroya, and I'm with
Nick.
All right, Nick, what does equality mean to you?
I think equality means for every race and gender to have equal opportunities in America.
That's a good answer, thank you. Napri Soroya.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 12th grade.
Okay. How are you impacted through the resurgence of BLM in the past few years?
You know, it's good to get representation, especially in an atmosphere that's not really nice for colored folks, so it's really good.
I agree. Do you feel connected in this community at Stadium High School? Did they do enough, or do we do enough throughout all of this BLM movement?
Yeah, I think they do. I think I have a lot of friends that are really supportive, and I feel really supported by the community and the staff.
Good.
In a sense, the greatest tragedy of this other America is what it does to little children. Little children in this other America are forced to grow up with clouds of inferiority forming every day in their little mental skies. And as we look at this other America, we see it as an arena of blasted hopes and shattered dreams. Many people of various backgrounds live in this other America. Some are Mexican Americans, some are Puerto Ricans, some are Indians, some happen to be from other groups. Millions of them are Appalachian whites. Probably the largest group in this other America in proportion to its size in the population is the American Negro. The American Negro finds himself living in a triple ghetto, a ghetto of race, a ghetto of poverty, a ghetto is to deal with this problem of the two Americas. We are seeking to make America one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In one afternoon, 50 years ago, so much of our turbulent history, the stain of slavery and anguish of civil war, the yoke of segregation and tyranny of Jim Crow, the death of 4 little girls in Birmingham, and the dream of a Baptist preacher, all that history met on this bridge. It was not a clash of armies, but a clash of wills. A contest to determine the true meaning of America. What they did here will reverberate through the ages. Not because the change they won was preordained. Not because their victory was complete, but because they proved that nonviolent change is possible. We know America is what we make of it. Look at our history. We are Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea, pioneers who braved the unfamiliar, followed by a stampede of farmers and miners and entrepreneurs and hucksters. That's our spirit. That's who we are. We're Sojourner Truth and Fannie Lou Hamer, women who could do as much as any man and then some. We're the fresh-faced GIs who fought to liberate a continent. And we're the Tuskegee Airmen and the Navajo Code Talkers and the Japanese Americans who fought for this country even as their own liberty had been denied. We are Jackie Robinson, enduring scorn and spiked cleats and pitches coming straight to his head and stealing home in the World Series anyway.
Justice, no peace, no justice.
Now at 6, a night of uncertainty for New York City as protesters hit the streets once again. And we start with that breaking news of the latest protests right now. I'm Natalie.
Please separate yourself from us. We are here for a peaceful demonstration.
America is lucky that we are not a vengeful people. We are a peaceful people.
It's not just about these events. What are you doing in your personal lives to bring about change? Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives!
It's not just a hashtag for likes. This is our lives, people. What's his name? George Floyd. What's his name? George Floyd. What's his name? George Floyd.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they never demonstrated that. They got their point across by what? Speaking, opening their mouth.
They both dead, though. They both dead.
They're not here, but guess what? They're in you. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King is in you, and me, and everyone here.
But when they started to work together, they saw the beauty in each other.
Don't stop. Don't retreat. Don't relent. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep
children to older adults. We had a woman who said to me, how long will you be here? I want to go get my grandmother so that she can be a part of history. Because that's what's happening today and what happened for the last couple of days. We made history.
We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. Though I join hands so often with students and others behind jail bars singing it, we shall overcome. Sometimes we've had tears in our eyes when we joined together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome. No, before this victory is won, some will have to get thrown in jail some more, but we shall overcome. Don't worry about us. Before the victory is won, some of us will lose jobs, but we shall overcome. Before the victory is won, even some will have to face physical death. But if physical death is the price that some must pay to free their children from a permanent psychological death, then nothing shall be more redemptive. We shall overcome. Before the victory is won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and agitators, but we shall overcome. And I'll tell you why. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. And with this faith, we will go out and adjourn the councils of despair and bring new light into the dark chambers of pessimism. And we will be able to rise from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope. And this will be a great America. We will be the participants in making it so. And so as I leave you this evening, I say, walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the
I do believe someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. I may not know how long 'twill be. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Someday we'll all be free. Hold on, my